Caitlin Clark just became captain of the WNBA All-Star Game, and the internet completely lost its mind. In one of the most chaotic, hilarious, and revealing moments of the season, Clark's selection sparked an online firestorm. The fans went wild, the haters went feral, and Twitter practically combusted. While some celebrated her rise as the face of women's basketball, others were busy ranting, retweeting, and rage-posting like their lives depended on it. But here's the thing. While the critics screamed about turnovers, team records, and so-called rigged voting, the fans were doing what really matters in sports. They showed up and voted, over 1 million strong. And not just voted, they broke records doing it. So the question isn't, did Caitlin Clark deserve this? The question is, why are so many people still pretending she didn't? Because what's happening here isn't just about basketball. It's about power, perception, and a player who's completely flipped the WNBA script. And if you think the controversy ends here, oh no, it's just getting started. Let's get one thing straight right out of the gate. Caitlin Clark didn't sneak her way into the All-Star captain spot. She dominated her way in. We're talking about the most All-Star votes in WNBA history. Over 1.3 million people clicked her name. That's not a fluke. That's not a PR stunt. That's a tidal wave of fan support. To put this into perspective, Clark received more votes than every single 2023 All-Star combined. Just let that sink in for a second. More than every top player from last year put together. And yet, some people still have the audacity to say she hasn't earned it. This isn't just hype, it's historic. Clark didn't just edge out her competition, she crushed it. She didn't get here because of some marketing machine or more media narrative. She got here because millions of people around the world wanted to see her. That kind of energy doesn't come from casual curiosity. It comes from impact. Love her or hate her, Clark has that rare ability to make people care. But of course, the numbers weren't enough for some people. Because the moment the votes were announced, the excuses started flying. The moment Caitlin Clark was named All-Star captain, the internet's sore losers kicked into high gear. Suddenly, it wasn't about the record-breaking votes or her on-court brilliance. Nope, it was all about turnovers. Yes, turnovers, that was the grand argument. She turns the ball over too much, as if every elite point guard in history hasn't led the league in turnovers. You know who else racks up turnovers? Steph Curry, Luka Doncic, Magic Johnson. When you're the primary playmaker, when the ball lives in your hands, turnovers happen. It's called running an offense, not committing a crime. Then came the next excuse. Her team doesn't win enough. Really? Because the Indiana Fever have been one of the most improved teams in the league. Because of Clark. She's the engine of that team. Her presence alone changes how defenses operate. When she's on the floor, they're competitive. When she's not, they collapse. But critics don't want to talk about impact. They want to nitpick box scores. And then we hit rock bottom with the last resort of all insecure arguments. It's rigged. That's right. Fan voting is now rigged because your favorite player didn't win. Let that sink in. The same people screaming about Clark's popularity are also claiming her popularity is somehow unfair. That's not logic. That's pure bitter coping. And it only gets worse from here. Here's the twist no one wants to admit. Caitlin Clark's biggest haters. They're actually her most loyal fans. Seriously, these people watch every single game. They clip her every move. They obsess over every stat. They tweet about her more than her supporters do. They're not casual critics. They're full-time analysts, unpaid interns in the Caitlin Clark media department. The level of dedication is almost touching. You'll see them dissecting a missed layup like it's a national emergency, posting turnover compilations with dramatic music, writing multi-paragraph threads about why Clark is overrated, while never missing a single Fever tip-off. Let's be real, they've basically made her their personality. And the best part? Every angry tweet, every viral post, every meltdown is just free publicity. They think they're tearing her down, but all they're doing is keeping her name everywhere. It's like a fan club with a grudge. They won't admit they're obsessed, but the attention is louder than any cheer squad. And Clark? She just keeps making them tune in. But just when the outrage couldn't get any louder, they tried to drag another name into the fight. And that's when the Paige Bueckers debate exploded. When the outrage machine couldn't discredit Caitlin with turnovers or team record talk, they shifted gears. Enter Paige Bueckers. Suddenly, social media was flooded with arguments that she should have been named captain instead. And look, Paige Bueckers is an incredible player. Nobody's denying that. She's got the talent, the resume, and the charisma. But let's deal in facts, not fantasies. Caitlin Clark is averaging more points, more assists, more rebounds, and she's carrying a heavier offensive load every single night. The advanced stats, they lean Clark. The eye test? Also Clark. The leadership, the pressure, the spotlight. Still Clark. Paige has been consistent and valuable, no doubt. But she's not doing what Caitlyn's doing on the floor or off it. And yet, somehow, people act like this is a debate. Like we're splitting hairs between two identical players. We're not. Clark isn't just putting up numbers, she's shifting the landscape. Meanwhile, these same critics keep moving the goalposts. If Buakers were named captain, they'd be celebrating her grace and humility. But because it's Clark, it's suddenly a problem. And that's where the hypocrisy becomes impossible to ignore. Here's where the logic completely falls apart. The same media members criticizing Caitlin Clark's selection are the ones who voted for injured players, some who missed half the season, as all-star starters. Think about that. Players who barely stepped on the court were considered more deserving than the one player who hasn't missed a beat and is literally carrying her franchise night in and night out. That's not analysis, that's bias, plain and simple. And let's talk about leadership. When veterans raise their voices or hold teammates accountable, they're praised for their experience and basketball IQ. But when Clark does the same thing, suddenly she's entitled or difficult. When international players show emotion, it's passion. When Clark shows it, it's attitude problems. It's like there's a different rulebook just for her. And if you think this double standard is just about gameplay, you haven't been paying attention. This goes deeper, because the moment Clark succeeded on a massive stage, breaking voting records and redefining what star power looks like in the WNBA, it stopped being about basketball for some people. It became personal, emotional, and incredibly inconsistent. But here's what the critics refuse to admit. While they're busy drawing red circles on her box scores, Clark is doing something much bigger than making All-Star. She's transforming the entire league. Let's be brutally honest, the WNBA isn't just a league, it's a business. And Caitlin Clark? She's the best thing that's happened to that business in years. Don't believe it? Look at the numbers. Fever games featuring Clark are consistently among the most watched in the league. Attendance has skyrocketed, both home and away. Merchandise sales? Through the roof. And it's not just her jersey flying off the shelves. She's boosting sales for her opponents too. That's called the Caitlin Clark effect. So when people complain that her popularity shouldn't matter in all-star voting, they're missing the entire point. Popularity is the point. Fans aren't just buying tickets to see box scores. They're buying into stories, into stars, into moments. Clark doesn't just play the game, she moves the needle. She brings in casual fans, sparks conversations, and draws headlines. That's exactly what every professional league dreams of. And the truth is, those angry tweets and hot takes trying to tear her down, they're actually helping. Every time someone posts a meltdown about Clark, they're fueling more engagement, more discussion, more eyeballs on the game. She's not just playing basketball, she's giving the WNBA cultural relevance. And now, with the All-Star Game around the corner, that relevance is about to go next level. Now here's where things get really spicy. As All-Star captain, Caitlin Clark isn't just showing up to the game, she gets to draft her own team. And every single pick she makes is going to be dissected like it's the NBA Finals. Will she stay loyal and go with her Fever teammate Aaliyah Boston as her first pick? Will she squash all the fake drama and select Paige Buakers? Will she go full strategy mode and stack her squad with three-point killers or veteran defenders? This isn't just a draft, it's a storyline goldmine. Every decision will fuel headlines, podcasts, Twitter threads, and YouTube thumbnails. Every name she doesn't pick will cause more chaos than the ones she does. And that's the brilliance of this moment. Clark's presence alone is turning a historically underwhelming all-star format into must-see television. Because let's be real, when was the last time this many people even cared about the WNBA All-Star Game? Clark's captaincy just injected it with stakes, suspense, and a whole lot of noise. And no matter what she does, the world will be watching. But this moment isn't just about one game. It's a signal, a flashing neon sign about where the league is heading next. Caitlin Clark becoming All-Star captain isn't just a fan vote win. It's a full-blown cultural shift. For years, the WNBA tried to manufacture stars through media campaigns and legacy narratives. But now, the fans are doing it themselves. They chose Clark, loudly, unapologetically. And the league, whether it wanted to or not, had to listen. This wasn't about seniority or who's been in the league the longest. It wasn't about who checked all the politically correct boxes. It was about who makes people care, who brings new eyes, who gets casual fans to tune in, buy a ticket, wear a jersey, or even, dare we say it, argue on the internet at 2 a.m. That's Clark. That's star power. And the gatekeeping, the double standards, the outrage disguised as concern for the game, it's all crumbling. Because the truth is, Clark represents something bigger than points and assists. She represents relevance, the ability to make women's basketball impossible to ignore. And whether people admit it or not, that's exactly what the WNBA has needed for decades. So if you're still clutching your pearls over her captaincy, maybe you're not mad at Clark. Maybe you're just mad the fans are finally the ones calling the shots. Caitlin Clark didn't just earn this captain title. She rewrote the rules on what it takes to get there. Through sheer impact, undeniable numbers, and unmatched star power, she's taken the WNBA from background noise to front-page news. And the irony? Every meltdown, every complaint, every rigged accusation only makes her more powerful. The people trying to drag her down? They're the reason her name is everywhere. They've made her the headline. The WNBA All-Star Game just became the most talked about event of the season. Not because of tradition, but because one player flipped the script. Caitlin Clark didn't wait for permission. She earned her seat at the table and then built a bigger one for everyone to watch. So, to all the critics still frothing at the mouth online, if you wanted a different result, maybe you should have voted, but you didn't. You were too busy writing essays and analyzing slow-motion replays. Meanwhile, the fans spoke loudly, and what they said was clear. Captain Clark is here. The league is changing, and whether you like it or not, she's leading the way.